Hey guys, how you doing? Happy New Week. Welcome to a beautiful week. Today I want to talk something that could probably turn some people off. But the truth is, it is from basically a personal observation and also from interesting stats that have shown that brothers and Nigerians living in the UK are very, very stingy. Why are Nigerians living in the UK? Why are they stingy? If you put consideration into those are Nigerians living in diaspora, you discover that those ones living in the UK have a pathological attitude when it comes to how generous they are. Their unwillingness in giving, their ungenerosity is at a height. So what is the reason behind them acting or developing this attitude? I mean, so they be, we not really know saying so they be right when they were here in Nigeria, or the UK system can't change their mentality when it comes to how they express their generosity. So today I want to talk about why are Nigerians living in the UK, particularly in the UK, why are they very stingy? Welcome to the Testament podcast.
Instead it be sleep, let it be hate, let it degrade, let it be deep. Some others should weep, some others should keep the memory of the way that I died. Maybe.
Okay, remember to subscribe, follow us on all our social media platform, comment, share, do everything possible to support us. That is the only way you can make this community grow. Okay, now I want to look at it from two different angles. First of all, how this Nigerian behaving before they traveled to the UK, and also what is really happening, because it is pathological behavior. And when something becomes pathological, it means it is constant. And when it is constant, it means there's a reason behind it. Even one of us, former one of us, Bobrisky, gave an advice to ladies that do not date Nigerians living in the UK, that they are broke and they are very stingy. So why are they broke? Why are they stingy? Okay, let's forget about being broke, which probably is just exaggeration. Firstly, what I don't observe closely is how were they before they traveled. Let's pay attention to how were these Nigerians behaving before they traveled. Let's also consider the process of jackpari, because process they affect the reason why people go consider so many reasons on why they need to behave in a particular way, and also the environment. You cannot rule that out, which happens to be probably the major reason why they started acting the way they are acting, or exhibiting the kind of resentment and the kind of pushback they have when it comes to how they give out whatever thing that comes into their pocket, although they hold nobody. I want it to be clear that no one holds you to help you, no one holds you to give you. But we cannot rule that act as friends and brothers and sisters. It is also good that we should be generous to one another, and it's just because it is becoming pathological in a way. So that is the reason why I'm throwing my light. I'm trying to dive into this particular observation. Okay, now how are they behaving in Nigeria before they traveled? If you look, obviously 70% of Nigerians who are in any European country or who are not in the shores of Nigeria, more probably that have jackpot because of the condition the Nigeria system put them in. And majority of them who traveled sold a lot of things. Some of them, their sweat, which they don't suffer get for many years, but because of the conditioning, maybe based on security challenges, based on things that are not working the way they want it to work, they had to sell their houses, sell their cars, sell so many things that have just to push and leave these shores of the country, which also probably might have also be the reason why they're acting the way they're acting, because they took a lot of risk. And it is not easy for one to take risk. Once you're in the process of taking risk, or you've taken risk, or you are undergoing pain and struggle as a result of the risk and the decision you've taken, affects how you perceive and how you see the world. And because of the risk and the condition of the risk, you see the world in a different light. Because generally speaking, if you want to take a start, you discover that majority of these Nigerians living in the UK are not really that ungenerous. But because of maybe the journey that took them to where they are and how the system is structured, we cannot rule that out. Environment have close to 70% of influence over us. It influences how we eat, influences the clothes we put on, influences how we structure our lives. It is the environment that affects us, affects our language, affects everything about our culture. So it means the UK system is structured and patterned in a way to make you attach more value more value to what comes into your pocket. Because if you look at, if you ask some of them, say, this, they go tell you, say, man, I've worked 11, 12, 13 hours today, and this and that, and this and that, this is the condition and stuff like that. And when they see and weigh what comes into their account and see how the system is structured, that 70% or even not 80% of what comes into your account goes back into the system, and they are now left with just barely what to attend to their personal needs, it becomes very difficult for them to let go or to give you a penny, because every penny costs them a lot of sweat. So I'm not trying to say that it is, in as much as it is not really their fault, but some of them are just naturally stingy. So I know they come, they look at why would they talk about it, and just based on experience and based on one or two things that happened last week, and I just say, okay, let me see how far. When it be say this, our brothers, why is it that it's pathological? If you ask one or two persons about people about the UK, they always give you a negative report about how they behave on how they act. But you no go just consider people or generalize based on people observation. But you have to consider wetin happen. Now the Dakpa process not be easy process. The condition that one puts himself to sell everything he had, sell everything he has, sell everything he has worked for, decide to go to the unknown, because Jakpa means escaping, because Jakpa is derived from, is a Yoruba slang that means to escape. Probably you're escaping as a result of what the environment you find yourself. Maybe the environment you find yourself becomes too chaotic for you to live, and for you to be productive, you want to leave. And you know why? They pay me about them. Because the journey to the unknown is something that, it is called the unknown because you practically have no knowledge of what is at stake, practically have no knowledge of what is in front of you or what you are going into. So it's a bold step, a dangerous step, and a very risky step, because majority of them, when they don't sell most things, don't end up regretting why they take the decision to sell, because they don't reach the place. It is not how it was painted. It was not what they thought they were going to run into. Because the difference between the UK and Nigeria, if one really look at, not just difference of the government in the UK are able to provide basic amenities for the people. Water is available. Not be the provide water for yourself, not be the source for water, not be the source for electricity. The good roads are okay. The roads are okay. The transport system is okay. Things seems to be working well for the people. And when things are working well for the people, you are not paying attention to you providing basic amenities for you, which structurally is the responsibility of the government, of the system, to make that available. It gives you a high chance of you being productive and meeting up with your goals, meeting up with the reasons or why you were created, meeting up with your potentials. The road becomes a bit smoother for you to attain the heights you want to attain. And that is the reason why Nigerians living in diaspora are always highly productive. Because when they enter that system, they don't see that all these things when they run from, don't they relatively, they're available for them. They go try to do well. Nigerians living in diaspora are highly productive and contributing positively to the economy they find themselves. So do you want to see the UK? What happened to them that they are totally different from the ones living in other European cities, despite they are not the ones who take when you want to make consideration in the risk, because there are some of our brothers who have embarked in the Sahara journey, go through the Sahara desert, cross the Mediterranean Sea just to get to Europe for a better opportunity. Those ones take the high risk when the ones when the UK not take. But what happen? Conscious say the UK system is structured and designed in a way that it does not favor the immigrants, that whatever thing that comes to you eventually goes back to the system. 70 to 80% of whatever thing they work for or they generate or they get as wages or salary at the end of the month goes back into the system. They pay mortgage for practically everything. So they pay mortgage for phone, pay for house, pay for car, pay for everything when they come. They're not the people find way to fit structure or achieve. The system is properly structured that your self goals will be difficult for you to attain. You might definitely be okay with the kind of life and the provision. Majority, one of the reasons why I believe some of us, they travel. Now, okay, since we've been able to try to get it right here and it's not working, let me see what I can do to try to get it right for my kids. So my kids will have greater opportunity, a better opportunity. And probably that is not just probably, that is the obviously reasons why some of us travel to this European country, despite how chaotic, despite how patterned it is for immigrants not to really excel. If you look at true, especially in Europe, no, Nigerians don't really do well when we want to make comparisons to how Nigeria flourished in the US. In Europe, Nigeria, I'm not going to see one part. I'm not saying in the UK that there are Nigerians who are not doing well. I'm just saying the immigration system is structured to really limit your growth. That take many years for you to even be able to own a house. And you go live in the UK, no matter the number of years you spend in the UK and how much you've contributed to the UK economy and how positively and how well you've lived, does not guarantee you to be a citizen of the UK, despite now England now colonized Nigeria. You don't see how funny it is. So I'm saying this to say that in as much as we condemn the pathological behavior of our brothers and sisters living in the UK especially, we should also need to pay attention to why they act the way they are acting. It is not really their fault. It is this UK system structured not to make the immigrant grow properly. That is one. And two, if 70% or 80% of what you earn at the end of the month go back to the system, how you want to survive? How you want to even get the one we want spare to give to someone? Because really, some of them over there enjoy the life when they live here, despite say we not get what we get. If you go out weekends, enjoy ourselves, catch one or two with friends. Some of them don't see friends for many years. I remember one time asking a friend of mine living in the UK, like, Alpha, you don't see this guy. He said, man, I never see him move since I enter UK. I'm like, what? You've been in the UK like for 2 years, this guy never sit down. Say, time no day. They walk. When want to get time? How want to go travel, go in city, come spend time? Time not day like that because it did like say it's day for cage. I don't really know say it's day for cage. Because once the system is patterned and structured like that, now cage now. When if you live the kind of life when you want to live or express yourself, they want to express, despite the input when they put in, despite the time when they put into the system, you cannot just be yourself at any time. Everything is structured. 7 o'clock you got come out, 10 you got come out, 6 you got come out. There's no excuse why you shouldn't be working. If you are not working, you are not earning. And everything. I don't feel like to you, despite let me say it this way. We cannot rule out the fact that if Nigeria decide to start propelling themselves rightly or being on the path to achieving something great, that the system or the Nigeria government, that the politician or the administration or whoever is in position decide to do what is right, that once these our brothers and sisters sense the Nigerians in the right path, majority of them, despite the years they've spent in the UK or any European city, in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Caribbean, anywhere in the world, would want to come back to Nigeria because there's no place like home. Forget they say, oh no, I don't get paper. Why it is all of them they return once in a while to come? You see that the system is not better. There's nothing that is as good as when you are in your own place. You did live your life as you want to live them. See, everything boils down to the Nigerian government doing the right thing so that our brothers and sisters can come back. Because majority of them who left based on the conviction the Nigerian system placed them are highly intellectual individuals. They are individuals that would, if they are here in Nigeria, they'll be highly productive. They will generate funds for Nigeria. They will give rooms for employment. But the system, no one structured the system, not did rightly for them to grow. And they had to move. I just also pray that in the nearest future we get it right. So that our brothers and sisters living in diaspora will come back. Because the reason why they jackpot is to escape a pain. And if they don't see changes on there, they will definitely come back. So the government needs to do something. And also for those of us who get brothers and sisters living in Europe or any part of the world, we should also put into consideration that the system is different. And whatever thing that comes out or comes in for you when you demand or you ask, even in as much as they don't owe you anything, you should always learn to be appreciative. You should always learn to be grateful, to know that what they are giving you is their pain, is their sacrifice. It's totally different from when you are living in Nigeria. So that's just my take on reasons why I feel that our brothers and sisters living in the UK are just the way they are. They are ungenerous or unwilling to really give. Not that they know they give you, that they guide the struggle to give, because penny, any money where they come in, guy it be for them. So okay, that's just my take on it. Peace out.
Yeah, instead it be them, let it be me. Since I will die inevitably, then let it be that it be said when I am dead. Some other was free, some other was fed, some other not me was able to see that long as we live inside of a country where no one is safe, no one is safe. We only evade, try to escape the imminent doom, but closer the date looms. it comes for all. If we must go, then at least when we fall, when